What's going on, family? We're back, relaxing, and we're reacting to current events going on. You feel me? This is Midas Touch. He's a great source. My mom's actually put me on to this YouTuber, so we're just following up every day, constant everyday feed on what's going on with Trump, the White House, and everyday things. Like, let's get into it.
Donald Trump is currently panicking outside of the White House as Iran has issued a deadly warning. Donald Trump is saying that his new Golden Ballroom will be able to repel the drones and ballistic missiles that Iran may be ready to shoot at him. And he says it will be a great place for his snipers to stay. Let me give you the sequence of events of what just happened. And I'm going to show you Donald Trump's meltdown in front of the White House as he's standing in the rubble area, the construction site, if you will, where this Golden Ballroom is being built. So we learned this morning that Iran is preparing to continuously fire hundreds of missiles per day at Gulf energy infrastructure, refineries, ports, and water desalination plants. If the U.S. resumes its strikes, Iran's Revolutionary Guard says it will return the United Arab Emirates to the era of riding camels and occupy Abu Dhabi if necessary. The Houthis are ready to shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait to open up a second maritime front against the U.S., with initial steps towards the blockade already being taken. This is Iran's response to Donald Trump's continued threats. So Donald Trump rushes outside, stands in front of the ballroom construction site, and he starts saying, "It's Democrats. They're dumb. The Democrats are what's harming me. They're ruining my ability to negotiate. I want to do a deal, but the Democrats are doing it." Here, play this clip.
It's the Democrats. They're dumb. It's a new name. It's a very accurate name. So I'm in the middle of a negotiation. I'm saying you cannot have a nuclear weapon. And it comes over the wire that the Democrats want to stop Trump from further negotiations. They want to stop Trump from, if he has to, giving them another slap. They want to have a nuclear weapon.
Then a reporter asks, "All right, Donald, so how many days does Iran have to come to the table in your mind to do this deal?" And Trump's like, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, next week, the week after, I don't know. Here, play this clip.
How long does it take for Iran to come?
Well, I mean, I'm saying 2 or 3 days, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something, maybe early next week, a limited period of time. Because we can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Then Donald Trump says, I got a call yesterday from Iran and from countries in the Middle East. And they said, sir, we're going to be able to close the deal, sir. Sir, we're going to be able to close the deal. Here, play this clip.
We have real regime change, but I got a call yesterday, sir, could you wait? We think we're close to a deal. And that's okay. Now,
then Donald Trump, standing in front of this ballroom construction site, he holds up a poster of what the Golden Ballroom is going to look like that MAGAs want to give $1 billion of our taxpayer money to. And he goes, "Look at me holding this. I look so thin. You don't have to look at my waist. You saw my waist all over President Xi Jinping in China. My waist was all over him." Dude, this guy is literally a psychotic, deranged individual. Here, play this clip.
it's so beautiful. See, I look so thin. They'll say, "Oh, he's gotten so thin because I'm holding this." You don't have to look at my waist. You can look at this. You saw enough of my waist along with President Xi.
Are you confident that you can?
Meanwhile, if you want to talk about what's actually happening in China right now, Putin has landed in China for a 2-day visit. Unlike Donald Trump, who was greeted by lower-level people, Foreign Minister Wang Yi of China was the person who greeted Putin when he arrived. They say they're going to be signing 40 documents between Putin and Xi Jinping, actual signed documents, and announcing a multipolar world order. Obviously a direct jab at Donald Trump. So while that's happening right now in China, you have Donald Trump saying, okay, look, I'm not worried about Iran because this ballroom, the roof, we're going to create the greatest drone empire anyone has ever seen. It's going to protect Washington. We're building a drone empire. A drone empire on the roof of the White House? I mean, quite literally, please, 25th Amendment, please get rid of, remove this guy from office. I mean, what are we even talking about here? Here, play this clip.
If they had won the election, our country would have been destroyed. Our country was a dead country 2 years ago, and now we have really the hottest country in the world. And this is the ballroom, and it's going to be something incredible. You see the quality of it, and they go right, those columns go right into the roof. And on top of the roof, we're going to have the greatest drone empire that you've ever seen, and it's going to protect Washington. Thank you all very much.
Mr. President.
We have a little breakfast for you.
Really?
Yeah. Where is your breakfast?
And a reporter says, all right, Donald, so how close were you from escalating the attack on Iran? How close were you from striking Iran yesterday before you said that you got a call from all these Middle East nations and they were saying, don't do it, Donald. We're going to make a deal. He said, the guy lies about everything. He's like, I was an hour away, 1 hour away. Here, play this clip.
Nice to see you, buddy.
How close were you to striking Iran?
I was an hour away. We were all set to go. You're talking about yesterday.
Yes.
We were going to be striking it would have been happening right now. Yeah, it was all done. Like the boats, the ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim.
And then he's like, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. The ballroom is a shield. It's a shield. Here, play this clip.
I want to do things, but everything that you see and the money that's being put up to build the ballroom, and again, the ballroom, it's necessary for the ballroom to be built with what you see over here. It's all knitted. The air conditioning, the heating, the drone capacity, the shield. You know, the ballroom becomes a shield for everything that you see right here.
Then he's like, look, just so you know, what I mean by a shield, if a drone hits the ballroom, it bounces off. And it's also a drone port. It's a drone port and drones bounce off. Don't you understand what I'm building here? Here, play this clip.
Developed in such a way that we can have military there, but the entire roof is developed for military. They're very high. They're higher than just about anything else. They have a 360-degree vision of Washington, D.C. They have a massive drone capacity. Not only is it drone-proof, if a drone hits it, it bounces off. It won't have any impact. But it's also meant as a drone port, so it protects all of Washington, the roof of the building. Okay? Now,
He's like, we've got great sniper capacity also for our snipers, not the enemy snipers. The enemy snipers aren't allowed on the roof. Just our snipers are on the roof. This guy is beyond paranoid right now. Here, play this clip.
drone proofing, the missile proofing, we have, and the drone capacity upstairs. We can have all sorts of military up with it. I hate to use the word snipers, but we have great sniper capacity. It's built for our snipers, not the enemy snipers, our snipers. And because of the height, we get a very clear view of everything all over Washington. Yeah. Mr. President,
Then he's like, but look, we took parts of this building from different parts of the world. You see that? That's Rome. You see that? That's Greece. Play it.
Here. And again, this is taken, these great classical buildings, they're taken out of different parts of the world from very glamorous times. This is Rome. They like the flat roof. Greece likes they call it the triangles, and you see that. This is a porch that looks out over the city. Also, it's developed in such a way that we can have military there, but the entire roof is developed for military. They're very high. They're higher than just about anything else. They have a 360-degree vision of Washington, D.C.
And he's like, and this, he does more of this. He goes, this is Greek, or it comes out of Greece. This faces the treasury. That's Rome. You have two facades. Here, play it.
So, and they've had a lot of catastrophes with it then. So we have this, and if you take a look at this section, this is the different facade. So this is a Greek. More or less, it comes out of Greece. This is the ultimate facade for Greece. This faces the Treasury building. this is a different facade. That's Rome, and that faces the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, etc. So you have two facades. Primarily, you have two entrances. You have here. But the primary entrance is through the White House, directly through the White House.
Then he talks about the reflecting pool, and now he calls it the reflecting lake. And he's like, Obama and Biden, they tried so hard for the reflecting lake, but no one can do the reflecting lake like I can. No one can do fountains like me. I do the best fountains all in DC. Here, play this clip.
Water fountain. We didn't have one water fountain, and I think we have 40. We didn't have one in Washington that worked, and soon they'll all be working. Many of them work right now. And I think one of the best things, President Obama, President Biden spent much more than $100 million on the reflecting lake between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. They spent much more. They spent, some people say, $200 million. You know what they got out of it? A closed lake. It never opened, and when it did, it shut right away. It leaked. It was a disaster. I'm doing a job on the reflecting lake for a fraction of what they paid.
And then Donald Trump claimed that the reflecting pool, or as he calls it, the reflecting lake, will be waterproof. He says the lake will be waterproof. Here, play the clip.
I'm doing a job on the reflecting lake for a fraction of what they paid. Now, I've upgraded it I got so into it. I've upgraded it like you wouldn't believe. I'm doing all the walkways outside. I'm doing it properly. But it's a much bigger job. But you see it's happening now. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be waterproof. It's going to be reflecting again. I took over a dirty, filthy thing that wasn't open, and it was disgusting. And friends of mine would come to the Lincoln or the Washington and they'd say, "Sir, it's disgusting." I said, "What's disgusting?" The reflecting lake. And then
a reporter says, what you're doing in Iran, everything you're doing is so deeply unpopular. You ever plan on explaining it to the American people? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is actually happening right now? And Donald Trump's like, I don't have to explain it to people. I'm just getting it done. I don't need to explain it to Congress. I don't need to explain it to the American people. I'm focused on my ballroom. That is it. Let's play this clip.
Well, I'm not doing this politically. Look, everyone tells me it's unpopular, but I think it's very popular. When they hear that it's having to do with nuclear weapons that could take out Los Angeles, could take out major cities very quick. When they hear that, when they're explaining, I'll tell you what, when we explain it to people, I don't really have enough time to explain it to people. I'm too busy getting it done. When they understand, I think it's frankly very popular. But whether it's popular or not popular, I have to do it. Because I'm not going to let the world be blown up on my watch. It's not going to happen.
And then, as I reported earlier this morning, Trump held off on additional strikes, partly because Pentagon officials warned that Iran was adapting to the U.S. air campaign. Remember, I was talking about this over the weekend. New York Times did the story yesterday. I was reporting about all those MQ-9 Reaper drones that were being shot down, being detected also over Qasem Island, remember? And the New York Times confirmed this yesterday. Iranian commanders had studied U.S. fighter and bomber flight patterns, possibly with Russian assistance, making American operations more predictable and increasing the effectiveness of Iran's air defense. Officials cited the downing of an F-15E and the damage to an F-35 as signs the risk to U.S. aircraft was rising. And so what Donald Trump does in response to that is he once again extends the removal of sanctions against Russian oil. Naturally, when Russia's helping kill Americans and go after America and kill American allies, what do? Help Russia out even more. That's Donald Trump's plan. And then you have Donald Trump in front of the ballroom saying, I paid for this all of myself. This is my gift to you. You didn't pay for any of it. And now you want taxpayers to pay $1 billion for this. Let's play this clip.
You do it a different way. So all of this was paid for by myself. And because I keep hearing we are making a gift of this one. This is a gift. This is not going to be paid for by the taxpayer.
Meanwhile, while Donald Trump was doing whatever the hell that was, the top NATO commander in Europe, General Alexis Grinkowicz from the United States, He talks about removing U.S. troops removing U.S. committed troops to NATO from Poland and from Germany. Here's what he has to say. Play this clip.
Emily, in accordance with President Trump's announcement, it'll be 5,000 troops coming out of Europe. As I mentioned in my opening comments, a fair number of those come from the Armored Brigade Combat Team that is returning. And the U.S. has also already announced that the previously planned deployment of a long-range fires battalion will be curtailed and will not start occurring. There's some other additional minor elements that'll be shifting as well. The planning is still ongoing for what those are for another several hundred troops. And so we can talk about that a little bit later, but the total number is 5,000.
And then this morning we also learned, but we didn't have to know the story, we know this to be the case, that the Government Accountability Office, in their latest audit of the Trump regime's first year, found that fraud, abuse, and waste actually rose 13% last year. Despite Elon Musk and Doge saying that they'd cut $1 trillion from the budget, the Government Accountability Office and MarketWatch reported this as well of what the GAO wrote. Federal waste came to about $153 billion. That's a rise of about 13% year over year. And with projects like this, of course, that's going to happen. Alligator Alcatraz closed after 1 year of wasting $1 billion to house 1,400 immigrants. That came to an eye-popping $714,000 per immigrant who was put in these cages. But the military-industrial complex made money. And we now see that the 30-year Treasury note yield is at 5.18%. That's the highest level since July 2007. These high Treasury yields are unsustainable, okay? They are unsustainable. The increase in our debt right now is surging. The Treasury is going to have to, take emergency measures, soon. I think they already are behind the scenes. And then I'll leave you with this as well, because as I've noted from the outset, everything with this Trump regime is a lie and a cover-up. So remember those two U.S. KC-135 Stratotanker, those big planes that collided over Iraq on March 12th, killing 6? Remember that? Pentagon said the skies were friendly, no hostile fire involved. But the initial intel reports actually detected Iranian-backed militia anti-aircraft fire in the area at the time, suggesting that the pilots probably took evasive action, and that's what led to the crash. Not that they just crashed into each other in friendly skies. Military leadership dismissed those reports as mistaken, but military leadership under the Trump regime now lies about everything. That was reported in The Atlantic this morning. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. We appreciate you as always.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MidasPlus.com.